So high-performing women don't collapse dramatically. They just disappear quietly. I want to explain why the most dangerous stage of capacity erosion isn't the collapse. It's the slow fade, the one that nobody notices, including you, until it's reached a point where you cannot ignore it anymore. So when people think of a breakdown, they think of it as something that's visible, something highly explosive and reactive. Maybe someone's quit their job or burnt their business down, or they've had some kind of public meltdown, and something has broken in a way that's forced the issue, it's forced a response. But that's not how it happens for women who are wired like you. You're far too capable, far too disciplined, far too built for endurance to fall apart in a spectacular way. You still get stuff done, that's how you're built. Nobody's ever going to write a headline about you. Nobody's ever going to stage an intervention. Nothing ever breaks in a way that demands attention. Instead, the erosion is more gradual, and it's almost imperceptible. Like, you stop initiating things. You just stop being the one that reaches out first. Maybe you stop putting yourself forward for things that you would otherwise enjoy and actively pursue. And it may not be conscious. You just start finding reasons why maybe the timing's not right or your energy's not there. You start to avoid making decisions that you would have actually made quite quickly before. You become a little bit quieter in rooms where you used to take up the right amount of space. From the outside, life still looks completely functional. You still look completely functional because you're still doing a great job, you're still getting stuff done. But internally, something is slowly switching itself off. And the particular cruelty of this is that you're self-aware and you can kind of feel it. You can almost watch it happen, but you can't do anything about it. You can see yourself withdrawing. You can feel the distance between who you know you can be when you're at your best, and the person who you want to be, and who you actually are now. And you can't close that gap. You can't close it through effort because you've already tried. You can't close it through working harder because you know it doesn't work. Most people will maybe rest, take time off, book a holiday, try a meditation app, go do some yoga, reduce the workload if they can. But those solutions assume that the problem is just purely stress. But that isn't the core issue. The real problem is capacity degradation. Your nervous system has been slowly losing its ability to process the load of your life. When that happens, your brain starts to conserve energy. It reduces the resources available for strategic thinking, for emotional regulation, for the kind of presence that makes you feel like yourself, which is why everything starts to feel harder. It's not because the external demands have increased. Often they don't. They've stayed the same. The pressure is the pressure. It is what it's always been. But the internal resource available to meet that pressure has just been quietly eroding. And that shift generally begins with three things. And the first one is recognizing the early signals of erosion before they start to become visible failure. Are you waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Are you taking longer and longer to make a choice? Are you withdrawing from the people that you love? Those are not just random, they are predictable. They're a pattern with a specific cause. Second thing is understanding what is actually draining your capacity inside your nervous system. And it's not usually the obvious stressors, it's the hidden ones. Masking that load all the time, the cost of doing that, the gap between who you're presenting and who you actually are. That takes up an incredible amount of load. Third is actually building systems that protect and restore your capacity before the erosion reaches a critical point, not after the collapse, but before. Because nobody tells you that this slow erosion, you don't really see it until it starts to feel more significant. And by the time it is visible to you, the intervention required is considerably larger than it would have been earlier. Which is why capacity needs to be governed before it fails, not after. The Capacity Catalyst Workshop, completely free training, it breaks down this entire model. What's actually happening, why it's happening, what the operational path out of it looks like, the frameworks, all that stuff. You can go ahead and watch that for free, no opt-in, using the link below. There's even a capacity assessment on there that you can take, which will show you your current capacity state and where you're at. In the next video, I'm going to explain something that confuses most high-performing women, why your personality seems to change depending on circumstances and why it's actually not an issue with you at all. So keep an eye out for that one.